Hello everyone and welcome to episode 13 of the Local to Global save here on TEW9 with Castle Pro Wrestling in Edinburgh, Scotland. And hopefully this is going to be a lucky 13 for us because I think I've booked some pretty good shows. I've pre-booked this a few days ago, so I'm kind of just going off of what I booked and we'll run with that. But we're just going to get right into the first episode because I don't think there's any point in wasting any time. As far as I'm aware, nothing's happened since the last episode. When we did the year-end wrap-up, so we're just going to get right into it. Get this first show done, then we can talk about some stuff. But we are in front of 186 people here in Edinburgh. We're inching closer to the 200 mark, which is fantastic. And hopefully, because I've been trying to be a little bit stingy with the finances, we make a considerable profit this month. But we open the show with Hoovy coming down to the ring and says he's ringing in the new year and indeed the new millennium. Hoovy says last month was tough, and honestly, these last few months have been pretty tough. He doesn't have a solution to the Doug Williams problem as of yet, but says, look, if Doug is that desperate for the title, maybe they should have one final match. Now, it was never officially the last match between these two. It was very much a one more match because it had a few matches before, but they've not had a match in 6 months now, so whatever. Doug then comes down with the firm in tow of Nigel McGuinness and Rampage Brown and says that sounds like a swell idea. He tells Hoovy to just name the time and the place. As he turns to leave, an irate John Ryan blindsides the firm and starts to go after Doug Williams, but they scurry off. John grabs the mic and says, tonight it's me and you, Doug. Because obviously last month Doug Williams cost John Ryan by mistake his chance at the title. So we're just wrapping that with a little bow up. Nicely. Hoovy was good. John Ryan has a gimmick that's getting stale, which is fine. John Ryan's getting a little bit stale. From memory, I've got a plan for him after this show that will hopefully revive him a little bit. But good segment, 53 overall. We then have a 38 segment as the Smashing Diamonds come to ring and say that it turns out even the official UK charts is against them and said their big Christmas single was released too late for consideration. But at the end of 2000 they'll be sure to fix that problem. So we're just hyping up a nice little Christmas single part 2 for the Smashing Diamonds. They're then interrupted by their opponents tonight. Two wild, crazy guys with big bushy beards and kilts who both get poor initial gimmick ratings. So that's fantastic. Highlander, what have they got? Lengthy bouts. So why does Robbie not sell more merchandise, but Rory does? Why does that make any sense? Anyway, whatever. The Highlanders are here. 38 segment, and the match is pretty poor. Oh, are you kidding? That's not right. The Smashing Diamonds defeat the Highlanders, who don't have a name yet. When Justin Starr submits Rory McAllister, it gets a big win for the Smashing Diamonds. Both Highlanders not doing the best, but they're obviously brand new. I don't like that notice that they don't work well as a team, because I have them to be used multiple times over the next few months. That's really annoying. And we're in the year 2000, so I don't want to change it in the editor. I know I could just go into the editor and change that to positive chemistry, but that's cheating. We're just going to have to figure something out there. Let me know what you guys think with the Highlanders. What should we do? If everybody's in favour of me changing it in the editor, then obviously we will do, but I'm not going to do it this episode, so we will get dinged a few times on match ratings, which is fine. Rory was off his game as well. It's a bit of a bummer, that. Bit of a bummer. We do bring it back though. And another initial gimmick rating of poor here is Tyson T-Bone debuts in the company. We spoke about him last time. He gets a 30 for his in-ring. And he does lose to Juventud Guerrera, who gets a nice little win on the board. No title match, obviously. But Hoovy also has a gimmick that is getting stale. So this is a great start to the year 2000. Everybody's stale and poor. Just not what we need. Just making sure I hadn't clicked next there. Next segment. the main event, obviously we know John Ryan's got a gimmick that's getting stale, but he does lose to Doug Williams in the main event. Doug picking up a big win. It gets a 56 segment rating, Doug with a 61, John Ryan with a very good 41. He had been letting me down a little bit recently, but he gets a great performance here in the main event to wrap up the first episode, which does get a 51. I don't agree with that 51 rating, but we'll take it. I've been dinged with bad ratings before on this, and especially the WCW save, that we will take ratings as they come. Now, I think we want to give John Ryan some praise because he was very good today, and we'll give Tyson T-Bone some praise. He was praised for a great performance. He was very good. And look at that, people. Look at that. We made $1 profit. And people say, I'm not a businessman. $1 profit, everybody. Like, you know, amazing. We also went up in popularity, but I mean, for once, I don't actually care about that because I'm just happy about $1 of profit. So for January, we are hopefully going to be making a pretty little penny, actually. I don't remember what our income so far was, but I think it was pretty good. And then we've not lost on the show, which is the key thing. We've not lost money on the actual taping. So that should mean a healthy profit for the end of January, which I'm more than happy with. Especially because, actually, one thing that has happened since I last recorded is I've had people coming up asking for more money. I had Hoovy, the Dominator, and Wayne Pickford again. I gave Pickford a pretty substantial raise. He's still annoyed at me, but I give him a pretty substantial raise. The Dominator, I think, is on 100 a show now, and Hoovy's on 90. I don't think I gave Hoovy the full raise, but I can quickly have a look. But first, we'll just have a wee look. We'll see what it says here. Where is Castle Pro in this list? Live in Edinburgh. Where is Live in Edinburgh? There it is. Feedback has been awesome. Just what we want to see. Yeah, so we've given some people some pay rises. So as I said, there was... So Doug we knew was on 90 per show. I'm dreading when he comes and asks for another one. Hoovy's on 80. And he's annoyed because I didn't give him a full pay rise. And Wayne is now on 165 per show. And I'm going to just take that off of him and see if maybe that will slow down his pay rise requests. And then the Dominator, as I said, is on 100, I believe. Yeah, so we're paying a pretty penny for some people, but luckily, as you can see by this, we, by gaining $1 on that show, are currently 688 in the black with another potentially 700 in sponsors. So this could be a sensational month. Like, our biggest profit to date, I believe, was last month with the 465. We're going to smash that. We might make well over $1,000, which is beautiful. If so, like, genuinely, that's the news I've been waiting for this entire save. And we spoke last time about Hoovy, and I actually had a comment about Hoovy from a prior video, which was, let me just find it. Yeah, so it was Benja Plays had said that it feels for Hoovy that he's a perfect mid-card second guy. He's amazing performance, but, you know, Doug and Dominator are just better. And I agree. I haven't been, I've mentioned before, very impressed with this title run of Hoovy. And we're not doing the Hoovy-Doug match this episode. There's 2 points in it popularity-wise. And the Dominator's also lurking around as well. I don't know if Hoovy survives the next big show as the champion. But we'll see. I have a plan. and I don't think some of you are going to like it. But there's a plan in my head bouncing around that I'm tempted to do. That's all I'm going to say. In case anybody's wondering, by the way, we're still rising and rising on both things. So I'm going to skim to the next show, unless anything major happens. And I'll come back pre-booking the show to talk about the finances, because that's what everybody's now waiting for, especially me. I'm very excited about the finances for once. So back in just a second. So I'll come back on the 1st of February because I've got 2 questions for you. Do you want the good news or do you want the bad news? The good news. We made $1,151 last month. So that's the good news. Also, Sharkboy is back to being based in the UK because he's with, well, he's going to be with All Star Wrestling. So, you know, Sharkboy might be on the, I don't know. The bad news. Apologies for the throat clearing there. Yeah. Wayne Pickford's leaving in 30 days. He's actually leaving in 23 days, so he can do the next live in Edinburgh, but we have had to look for a replacement. The problem is, these are the guys who can be road agents. We've got Ben McCoy, 900, Chick Cullen, 800, Colin Mackay we don't talk about anymore, and Keith Myatt, 400. Now, I have put an offer in for Keith, because Keith Myatt's very good, but it's not ideal to have to spend an extra nearly $250 on just a road agent every show, but needs must at this point. We can use Keith as a wrestler as well, and then we can have Conscience do the odd match. Also, Keith's a pretty good promo, so I mean, there's the part of me, I spoke before, or at least in a comment anyway, about doing like an authority figure, because I can't remember the guy's name, but your man who wrestled Big Daddy in the last match, I think he was also on 400 a show, but he's no longer in the criteria that I want, because if I'm spending 400 per show, I do not want to pay for travel as well. So we're going to bring Keith in. Keith's going to be our new road agent, which is fine. We can promote him to the inner circle probably as well. Wayne's not got any jobs here, does he? No, just Martin Warren everywhere is our man. But yeah, I'm going to skip ahead 17 days. I'm going to hire Keith, and then Wayne. I mean, do we just let Wayne go? Maybe. Or do we give Keith... I don't know. I'll think of something. But anyway, that was all. Good news and bad news. More bad news than good news, really. We've made money, but we're going to have to spend a lot of it on the road agent. Hooray! Back in just a second for the next live in Edinburgh. Okay, so wow, there's 220 people here for this show live in Edinburgh. Now, before we go into the actual show itself, a couple bits of housekeeping. Wayne Pickford is gone. I have just fired him. I just released him. I didn't see the point in having Keith available and using a wash road agent, so we've just got rid of Wayne. So farewell, Wayne. You were a good road agent for what we needed for the time. However, Keith Myatt is a considerably better road agent. So Keith's in. And we've also made a new signing. It's nothing exciting. I'll show you him after the show because he's not booked tonight. But that's how that goes. We have also almost made $1,000 this month already. So things hopefully are looking up for Castle Pro. And 220 people in attendance is barnstormingly big. And let's get on with the show. So the firm come down to the ring and open the show, and they have some big news. While Doug waits for Hoovy to stop being a coward and confirm the date of their final match together, he says that Nigel and Rampage will be competing once again for the tag titles in the main event. Nigel grabs the mic and says, over the last month, ignore that typo, they've learned everything they needed to, and they know exactly how to defeat the Dominator and the Gravedigger, and when they do, the firm will run Castle Pro. It's a good segment to get the show started at 46, and yes, our main event will be the firm versus the Dominator and the Gravedigger for the tag titles. Following that, we have a decent match as Christopher Daniels gets a win over Duncan Disorderly with the Angels Wings, 35 overall. Daniels only with a 30, which is very surprising, but hopefully we can bring Daniels up a little bit. And on that note, we have his next opponent. And Christopher Daniels gets his first win in Castle Pro, and says it's amazing to finally be here, and like everyone else, he has his sights set on one big prize, which is the belt currently around Hoovie's waist. He's then interrupted by John Ryan, who's bitter about how his last few months have gone. He tells Daniels to go back to the line, to the back of the line even, as John Ryan is next. And Daniels retorts that it seems that John Ryan is always next and always losing. As the two come to blows, we have a gimmick change for John Ryan as well, and he gets a poor gimmick, but he does sell more merchandise than usual, so hopefully that can get better as the time goes on. But yeah, we're going to run Daniels and John Ryan, a nice little see where Daniels is at, and see if John Ryan can lead a feud as well. We then have a tag match that was going to disappoint because I knew what this was going to say. We get a 25 as Robbie and Rory defeat Tyson T-Bone and Kelt Kennedy when Rory pins Tyson T-Bone. I mean, the Highlanders don't work together as a team. I think we've got one more match with them coming up, and then I will think about what to do, but I'm not changing the booking plans. We can live with it. It gets a 25. Now, it's main event time. It's main event time, and please don't be mad at me. Okay? The Firm defeat the Dominator and the Gravedigger when Nigel McGuinness pins the Gravedigger with the Jawbreaker lariat following interference from Doug Williams, and the Firm have won the Castle Pro Tag Team Championships. It's a great match. A 51 is a fantastic rating. The Gravedigger with a 50, Dominator 56, Rampage and Nigel both with 35s. And yeah, I've taken the tag titles off the Dominator and the Gravedigger to end the show. It gets a 45. Now, I just want to say off the bat here that I know we all love them. Okay, I know we all love the Dominator and the Gravedigger. But I felt this was a change that had to be made, and I'll go through why while we wait for the loading screen. We've lost 161, so that's fine. We're going to make loads of money this month, and we've gone up to 27 popularity as well. So this has been a very successful show, all things considered. Now, the Gravedigger and the Dominator, I know, okay, I know people are angry. Everybody's favourite tag team. However, I just don't see where I was going with the tag title reign. And I think that them just beating people every month isn't very exciting. And what I want to do is I kind of want to move the Dominator and the Gravedigger into the main event scene and see how they sort of get on, because I think the Dominator could be a future champion for us. I think the Gravedigger could potentially be a future champion for us. I'm not quite sure about that one, but the part of me that wants to give the Gravedigger a title run is very strong, it has to be said. And I feel like it'd be a nice little moment in the company if we could give the Gravedigger a title run. There's also the option of we could split the Dominator and the Gravedigger. So when we formed them, it was very Undertaker and Kane. And there was a great comment from, let me just find who it was. Luckily I have YouTube open. It was a new YouTube under U30 or U30. He said he can just imagine a podcast in 25 years' time with the Dominator complaints about how he had to carry the Gravedigger for his entire career. Now, I love that. I love that because it's so true. The Dominator is the man, but the Gravedigger holds his own. And I just think it's a really fun idea. And I think splitting them is potentially the way to go. But we'll come to that down the line. It won't be in this episode. We will sort of see how it all goes. Now let's just check the popularity. Dominator's gone down 1, so that's fine. The Gravedigger, he's gone down 3. So we've got some work to rehab the Gravedigger. Nigel is up to 15. So that's a big bump for Nigel. And Rampage is up to 32. Goodness me. Okay. Why is he annoyed? Unhappy. It's been months ago. What are you all complaining about? Yeah, good stuff. Oh yeah, so we signed Kenneth Wilhelm, or Wilhelm. He's 21, he's English. He's from Northern England. He graduated from the School of Rudge, so I assume that's Terry Rudge. And his physical and mentals are not good. Neither are his fundamentals. But he's consistent, he's got good stamina, he's got good power and resilience, but most importantly I think, good charisma microphone, great star quality, and good menace as well for somebody who's 5'8". We can definitely do something with Kenneth. I think a tag team is probably the way to go. We'll dump him in with, I don't know, Darren Burridge or something. We can think of a plan. We're also changing Hoovie's gimmick because it's adequate, and we're also going to turn him face because eventually we should probably bring, faces and heels back into it. Hoovie, by the way, not defending the title in 57 days. I don't believe he has a title defence this episode. So that's how excited I am about the Hoovie tag title run. As far as the tag titles, the Dominator and the Gravediggers' 552-day reign comes to an end as they drop the belts in the second best match of the run to the Firm. The two best matches were with the Firm, actually. And as you can see, we don't obviously have many tag teams. We've got the Highlanders, who aren't good together, so that's great. And we've got the Smashing Diamonds, who, don't worry, we'll be making an appearance again this episode. But our new champions, Nigel and Rampage, the Firm, we like a long title defence in this company. 5-8-1 for Doug, 5-5-2 for the Dominator and the Gravedigger. Good stuff. Good stuff. Why is Daniels annoyed? Poor new game. Okay. Whatever. Backstage is poor. That's actually back up to average now, so that's fine. We're alright. The company's poor finances and the age of the locker room, I can live with those because we're already at 638 and we should get another 800 nearly in sponsorship. So this should be another really, really good month. Fingers crossed by the summertime we will be out of debt. But we'll see how that goes. And yeah, 2 good shows in a row this episode, I think. And we've done a huge attendance boost. 186 to 220. I almost wonder if we should put the tickets up to cheap for this next show because our popularity is 27. So ticket prices at 27 would be 23 here. So cheap would be 9. We'll leave it very cheap. We're making a lot of money and I'd rather get the gains at this point. We're 8 points off of small size. We haven't filtered out to anywhere else in the world as of yet, but our UK is looking alright. We've got Midlands 2, Northern England 5, Ireland 5, Wales 2, Southern England still 0 because the people in the south of England hate us apparently because we're not good enough for them. Still no one here. I do have a little quick check at who's on the upcoming sort of bit of the hidden gems page of creative. Inner Circle as well, we've added Keith Myatt to a bunch of things as well, and Keith is now our head men's trainer, so 17 people were at his training class before the show, so that will hopefully help some guys get a bit better as well. And I figured this had happened, I hadn't looked, but with the big increase in attendance, the wrestling industry has gone up to week as well, so fingers crossed by next episode the economy might even be up to, is it average it goes up to next? I think it's average. So, fingers crossed, but these are all positive signs. I mean, this is good, the popularity is good, things are going pretty well. I've got another live in Edinburgh in 27 days, I'll come back, most likely just for that unless anything comes up. Well, I made a bit of a boner on this one. Match 2 had to change because I'm an idiot, but 257 people are here with another 37 people, I think, increase since last show. Brilliant. We're already like 1100 in profit as well. So minimise the losses here and it's going to be another superb month for us. But looking weird without the tag titles over their shoulders, the Dominator and the Gravedigger aren't here for any fun and games. Tonight is all about revenge. They advise the Firm to watch their back because they won't like what's behind them. It gets a 44 overall. That is going to be our main event. We are going to run the tag title match back again. And yeah, simple enough. The two guys are pissed. Up next, so this was meant to be Chris Diamond and Justin Starr teaming up, but I clicked give the night off, not paying attention to Chris Diamond, and it said he was not scheduled until the next show because I have it written, 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, 4 point. And it said 4 point such and such. So I went, I'll give him a night off. And then realised that he had this match. So I don't know what happened there. So I just had Roughneck step in. And Roughneck and Justin Starr, who've had a bit of beef backstage, get the win over Gary Steele and Duncan Disorderly. Kinda makes next month not make much sense, but we'll roll with it. The Smashing Diamonds. We'll just pretend Chris Diamond got stuck at an autograph signing or something. He gets a 37. As does this match. Now, Christopher Daniels defeats John Ryan with a fast roll-up. So Christopher Daniels getting a huge win over a big star like John Ryan, 37 overall. And John Ryan with a very poor 36. This is what I mean about John Ryan. He steps up, and then when I give him these chances, he steps down. I get that he's taken the loss here, and it's a quick roll-up finish. But it just doesn't inspire a lot of confidence in me to push John Ryan further. But Christopher Daniels with a decent performance, he's getting better, which is the main thing. We then have the main event of the evening, and the Dominator and the Gravedigger draw with the firm following a double disqualification. So the referees had enough, he throws the match out. The Dominator and the Gravedigger were 54s, which is really good. A 41 for Rampage and a 34 for Nigel. And yeah, we're not any closer to a winner here. A 46 overall main event is okay. This will be a lower rated show than normal. And then in our main event angle, the champs leave the ring. It says they left the ring or counted out. I'm pretty sure I picked count out, but whatever, who cares. The champs leave the ring, and Doug Williams sneaks up behind the former champs and takes them both out with a chair as the firm lead a 3-on-2 beatdown. Hoovy comes down to make the save, and the firm slide out of the ring as Doug grabs the mic and says time is ticking and he wants an answer from Hoovy next month or he's the next one for a beatdown from the firm. He gets a 48. Doug looked good, and yes, we're going to do all of this for Hoovy, and his classic technical gimmick gets a rating of very good, and the turn was a complete success. So that's a good way to end the show. The tag titles are up in flux. The main event for the next big show is probably happening, let's be real here. The show gets a 42. It's not a great night for us. Let's just give Roughneck and Justin Starr some praise because they did good in their match. And we gained $14, everybody. And we've gone up to 28 popularity. It's just a great night all around. The show kind of stunk, but we gained $14 and we gained a popularity point, so what else can we ask for at this stage? So yeah, the tag titles, obviously the firm are still the champions, and there's I've booked something already to set up something for Graps on the Grass Market, which I think is turning into a pretty good show. All things considered, I think I've got 4 matches booked so far. I want to do Daniels versus John Ryan, but the match didn't really excite me that they had, so I think I'm going to hold off on that just now. I've got an opponent for Daniels already. It's just a bit of a throwaway match for him. We'll give John Ryan something to do as well, and then maybe an angle between the two of them to set up a match down the line. But it is what it is. After we've booked the next show, I can give a quick rundown of the card, because at that point the matches will be set. I don't think it's a huge shock to say that we're probably doing Doug versus Hoovy again, but it's fine. Let's have a look. Is Hoovy not annoyed anymore? He's not. Perfect. So Hoovy, we've turned him face. He's happy now, so hopefully that'll make his performances a little bit better as well. And who else was I going to look at? I want to check Daniels. Up to 19 in Scotland, which is pretty good. What's Chris Diamond at these days? 22. John Ryan's up at 27. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. So we're currently at 1,000 in profit, and we should get almost another grand. We should hopefully, yeah, by the end of next episode, I would like to think we're going to be in the black for the finances. This is great, especially considering this is still going upwards. Other bits of notes. Steve Blackman is now based in Northern England because he's on tour with All Star. He wasn't available for the show last night. He was busy, as was Ian Harrison, who, yep, he was there as well. So that is what it is. Our next show is live in Edinburgh in 34 days' time, and that'll be the last part of this episode. This is quite a long episode, I think, so apologies. Hopefully it's exciting. But you can see, look at the difference in the attendances this year. We've gained nearly 100 people since the start of the year. On very cheap tickets, we're making $1,800 a month on ticket sales. Merchandise is up to $351. Now, merchandise is interesting because I do want to start the next process for the upgrade. However, I want to wait until we're in the black to do so. I'm going to see what we make at the end of March. It could be about $2,000. If we make $2,000 at the end of March, I think by the end of the next episode we'll be out in the black financially, but we're also going to get this next upgrade done for the merchandise. It'll take 10 weeks, so another 2 and a bit months, but I mean by the episode after that we're good to go. And yeah, that's kind of it, really. I realised, by the way, I forgot to go through the champions of the other companies, so I will try and remember to maybe do that at the end of this episode. I can't promise, but you know what, we'll just do it now. We'll do it now while we're here. I'm thinking about it. So, the World Wrestling Federation, with their stars such as IRS and Conan and Norman Smiley. European champion is Yokozuna. Heavyweight champion is The Undertaker, who defeated IRS and Conan. Intercontinental champion is Tracy Smothers. King of the Ring was most recently won by Marty Jannetty. Royal Rumble was won by Rick Rude. And the World Tag Champs are, of course, everybody's favourite tag team, Kato and Brutus the Barber Beefcake, for the 7th time. As you do. WCW, Tom Pritchard is the Cruiserweight champion, 7-time champion. The US champion is obviously Firebreaker Chip. The world champion is Rick Steiner, which is, I mean, better than what it was in this little area here. Tag champs are vacant, which is about right. And the world TV champion is everybody's favourite wrestler, Boris Zhukov. The IWGP champion is Masahiro Chono. Junior heavyweight tags, those guys. World tag team, junior heavyweight. I mean, I'm not really bothered about some of these ones. Hiroshi Hase won the G1 Climax. In All Japan, has Misawa won the Triple Crown yet? No. Is he still the tag champion? Yes. Coming on 2 years title reign, and champion Carnival was by Bret Hart. Which, Christ almighty, what a roster they've got, by the way. You've got Bret, who's one of the best wrestlers in the whole world. What's Misawa like? Yeah, Misawa's really popular. I'm surprised Misawa's never won the title. They also have Ric Flair. You know, because why not? You know, if they got anybody else exciting, Tiger Mask is there. What's Jun Akiyama looking like? A beast. Yep, that makes sense. Kenta Kobashi. There he is. Where's Kenta Kobashi? There he is. Tai's still. So all the main guys are still there, which is cool. And lastly, we'll just have a quick look at ECW when I find them. Okay, here we go. World champion is Pitbull Rex. World Tag Champs King Kalua and the Prodigy, which is Tom Marquez. And King Kalua is just the god around ECW apparently, with this amazing roster of talent, question mark. But yeah, I've got 34 days to simulate now. This is going to take a long time. So I'll see you guys. Well, you guys in a second. Me, I don't know, in an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. I'll be back in a second. So we're finally at show day, an unspeakable amount of time later. And yeah, Rick Rude's been fired from the WWF. He's one of their major stars. He was caught up in a sex scandal. apparently. So Rick Rude's now available. I don't think he'd want to come work for us yet. But yeah, look how popular he is as well. Oh, that's a big loss for the WWF, has to be said. Nothing has really happened since the last time. We did make a lot of money, however. Like, a lot of money. We are already down to $6,000 in debt. The debt is disappearing without a trace. We are still scheduled to get another 700 in sponsorships and another couple hundred in merchandise. So it's our final show before Graps on the Grass Market. This will be the final show of the episode as well. And next episode we'll start with Graps on the Grass Market. But yeah, it's all looking pretty good, has to be said. I'm going to go book the show and I'll see you guys in a second. 311 people are here for Live in Edinburgh, and it kicks off with Hoovie. He says he's had a few months to think about this and he's decided it has to happen. Hoovie, Doug, one last time. It'll be at Graps on the Grass Market next Friday, and the rules are simple. No interference, a fair fight, 30-minute Iron Man match. Tonight, he teams with Daniels and the mission is simple. Remove the firm from the equation. 67 for the best promo in the company. It's a great promo. And yeah, we're going to do a 30-minute Iron Man match between Hoovie and Doug. It might be a total disaster, but we shall see. Next segment up. It's a very angle-heavy show this week, by the way. We've only got 2 matches booked. The Smashing Diamonds come down to the ring and they're all business this month. They're wondering why they keep being overlooked for a tag title match. So say since the match last month ended the way it did, how about they get a chance at the champs? The Dominator and Gravedigger come down to the ring and say, look, we've bullied you dweebs in the past. It's always a lot of fun, but we're still at a proper rematch with the firm. So how about both teams face the champs and they do it in a three-way? So the Smashing Diamonds agree and say that come next week it'll be party time with the Diamonds. And yeah, we're going to do a three-way tag match because I don't really want the Dominator and the Gravedigger to take another pinfall, so I need a body to take the pinfall, basically. But we might change our mind. All good stuff. Roughneck got on the bonus for being an amazing heel, so good work over there. Next up is a match. Pretty straightforward. Doug Williams, he's heard the announcement from Hoovie. He defeats PJ Black with the Chaos Fury. Off his game, still drops a 50. Match Doug gets a 46. Easy peasy for Doug. And then in our main event, I mean, they don't work together as a team, but it's fine. Juventud de Guerrera and Christopher Daniels defeat the champions of the firm in 12.5 minutes when Hoovie pins Rampage Brown with the 450. During the finish, we also had John Ryan run in and attack Daniels, so that's not finished between those two. It gets a 45. It is a loss for the champs, but it's a loss to Hoovie and also Daniels, but mainly to Hoovie. Hoovie also getting better at his gimmick. And in the main event segment, which gets a 53, the firm, well, I say the firm run down, but Doug runs down and they completely destroy Hoovie. As Doug sends a message to Hoovie that it's going to be Doug, that Hoovie is going to be Doug's for a whole 30 minutes. And at the end of it, Doug Williams will once again be national champion. His performance was good. The show gets a 52, which isn't bad for having just 2 kind of throwaway matches and some promo work. Maybe it's Keith. Maybe big old Keith Myatt's the man. Let's see, who do we want to give some praise to? Let's give Daniel some praise. And is anybody unhappy here? Justin Starr. There you go. Have some compliments. And look at that. We're on very cheap tickets, remember, and we have made a profit of $333. I am very happy with this. Can we go up? We've gone up to 29 as well. Perfect. A perfect show. It sets up the 2 title matches at Graps on the Grass Market. It sets up Daniels versus John Ryan. And then I just have some other stuff that I'll throw on the show. It's a 2-hour show, so I use a lot of bodies. That profit as well also means that even if the show loses $400-500, at Graps on the Grass Market will be fine. I am also running Graps on the Grass Market with normal ticket pricing. My thinking is live in Edinburgh can stay very cheap, and our three currently major shows of the year can have normal ticket pricing to hopefully it'll reduce the attendance a little bit, but we'll make the money back in spades, is the thinking. But that's the end of the shows for this episode. My plan is I have a little bit of time this afternoon, but the game's taking a very long time to move between things. So I'm going to try and hammer out the next episodes today. Today's date is the 4th of September. And if maybe just look up when I have videos until, we shall see when my YouTube loads. I currently have this series. This will be coming out on the 15th of September. I'm going to try and get the next one out. So next week's episode, I'll try and get recorded today as well. But we shall see how that goes. But you know, it is what it is. It might be a shorter episode, is basically my point. We'll do Graps on the Grass Market and probably 2 live in Edinburgh's. I think that's a good way to go. If we have a little look. Actually, first of all, let's have a look at the Champion Carnival. Toshiaki Kawada retains the Triple Crown title. Doug Furness won the Champion Carnival. So there you go. Doug Furness beat Bret Hart early on. Which, you know, good on Doug. He's a good man. I like Doug Furness. Yeah. Our profit so far, already 1,800. We are due to gain another 900 maybe. We're going to be out of debt by the end of the next episode. And we've still got one more show to run this month. But yeah, if you look at the pre-booking, we have the following matches thrown in. I have Christopher Daniels versus John Ryan. Doug Williams versus Juventud Guerrera in a 1-on-1 30-minute Ironman match. The Dominator and the Gravedigger versus the Smashing Diamonds versus The Firm for the tag titles. And I also booked that 3 months ago, apparently, before I knew that they had no chemistry with each other. I'll book another couple matches, I'll sort some promos out, and it's all going well so far. We're at 29 popularity in Scotland. We are making money hand over fist, to the point where we could probably, you know what, I'm just going to start the upgrade actually now. Get the upgrade on the go. Hopefully by roughly the end of next episode we'll be done. So we've got Graps on the Grass Market to kick off next week's episode, and then we've got probably 2 live in Edinburgh's. We'll do May and June, I think. Yeah, I think we'll do May and June. Maybe July, I'll see how the vibe is, because then I suppose I could build it up towards Lunatic Fringe. But I'll see what time I have available, and I'll make that decision while I'm recording. But thanks so much for watching, everybody. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's episode. Hopefully you're excited about Graps on the Grass Market. And I'll see you guys in a few days' time. Drop likes, subscribes, comments, all that usual fun stuff that you guys are absolutely smashing it at. And I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching, and goodbye.